Okay, cool. So go ahead and come into child's pose to start. So come down onto your knees, knees wide apart, toes together, hips to your heels. Bring your forehead down and immediately make your arms active so that your fingers are spreading wide and you're rolling your triceps down towards the ground and pulling your upper neck muscles and shoulder muscles down and away from the ears. And then start to focus on your breath. Make your inhales a little bit deeper and longer and fuller and really feel it fill up into the back body. And then your exhales more controlled and try to find that ujjayi pranayama, which is slightly constricting the back of the throat. So it's more of a whisper, like an ocean sounding breath at the back of the throat. And you'll try to keep this breath throughout your practice to really find that discipline, but also that cathartic release. And we'll also add in different types of breath to really focus on stress relief, as well as getting a nice workout today. So start to walk your hands over to your right side to get a left side body stretch. And reach your left arm a little bit further and pull your left hip back and down towards the ground. So you can really feel the stretch through the rotator cuff muscles in your shoulders and your lats, all the way down into your left outer hip. And then take your hands over to the other side. Find a nice stretch through the right hand, plugging down into your right hip. And finding nice deep breaths into the right side body. And feel the stretch through all the fascia and muscles on that side of the body. And then bring your hands back through center, rise up onto hands and knees. So hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips for this basic cat-cow breath to start linking breath with movement. So as you inhale, you'll drop the belly, roll your shoulders back, gaze up. And then as you exhale, press into the mat, cat pose, and belly into spine, feel your back muscles. Just following your breath, inhales to open the chest muscles through the clavicle, breastbone, and then exhales to feel your core muscles engage, and a nice stretch into the back. And one more time, cow pose, inhale, and cat pose, exhale. And then come to a neutral spine and take your right leg back behind you with your toes on the ground. And just get a nice calf stretch for a moment. So pressing your toes into the ground, your shoulders are still right over your wrists. And just for 3 breaths, we're gonna engage our core by lifting the left knee off of the ground just an inch. So your hips are still in plank pose. So go ahead and lift your left knee off, engaging the right leg, finding your ujjayi breath. For one more breath. And then place that left knee right under the hip again, and then pull the right heel down onto the ground. You can spin your left shin back behind you and align your left hand, left knee, and right arch of the foot on the center line of your mat. And then reach your right arm to the sky, and then turn the palm forward and reach it forward at a diagonal so that you're finding a beautiful line of energy from your right foot all the way out through your right fingers. And then take a couple more deep breaths there. Really push the outer edge of your right foot down into the ground and pull your right shoulder down the back. And then from there, you're just going to bring the right hand back up towards the sky. Lift your right leg up. And you might need to pop that left hand forward so it's still under your left shoulder. Bend the right knee and see if you can grab a hold of your foot or your ankle behind you. And then before you kick back, try to tuck your tailbone a little bit and you'll already feel an opening through the hip flexor muscle, and then kick back at the same time. And you can bring your gaze up or down, whatever is easier for you. This is a really nice chest opener as well as hip opener, obviously, just opening up through the front body. And keep those breaths nice and deep and smooth. Just really keeping the chest open here, especially for our energy being locked inside. Keeping that energy open. And then take your right arm up. And then you're just going to return back to hands and knees. So hands and knees, take a couple cat-cow breaths. I'm just getting a massage, like a self-massage in the spine here. And then we're going to do the other side. So come back to hands and knees. And then take the left toes back as if you're in plank pose with just the left foot. So you're spreading your fingers wide and then gaze down. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. We're going to engage the core by just lifting the right knee off of the ground for 3 breaths. So press into the ground with your toes, your hands, lift your right knee, squeeze your abs, fold in the ribs, find your Ujjayi breath. Feel the strength around your belly and your low back. And then place that right knee back down. You'll find that alignment again, spinning the left heel down, spinning the right shin back behind you, and right hand, right knee, left arch, all in the middle of the mat. Left arm to the sky, spin your palm forward and reach forward at a diagonal. And then as you do so, press into the outer edge of your left foot. Really make your left arm straight and pull the shoulder blade down onto the back. And notice if you're kind of sticking your butt out a little bit for alignment, pull it down so that it's one straight line from your left foot to your left fingers. And then you'll just bring that left arm back up. Lift the left leg up and maybe pop that right hand forward an inch or 2. Bend the knee. See if you can grab a hold of ankle or foot. Before you kick back, pull in the belly, tuck the tailbone, and then kick back. So that action of pulling the tailbone down, in other words, engaging your low abs, really helps to stabilize the pelvis. And it doesn't get so much into the low back. It takes the arch out of the low back and really equalizes the stretch. Targets more of the hip flexor and the chest. So take one more deep breath there. And then reach arm and leg back out. Come back to hands and knees. Cat-cow, couple breaths. And then tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Lift your hips. Start by pedaling the feet slowly, as if you're really pushing your heels through really thick mud. So exaggerate kind of this slow motion and figure 8 motion with your hips. And just get all the tendons and ligaments and fascia warmed up in the hips and low back so that we can flow a little bit better and smoothly. And then take an inhale high up into the balls of the feet. And then as you exhale, you're just going to push your chest back, lift your sit bones, and try to stretch your back muscles as long as you can. Drop your head so that your neck is getting a nice decompression. The cervical spine from your heavy head gets a nice decompression. And then I'm going to push forward to plank pose. Make sure shoulders are still over wrists. A little bit more core to start. Root down into your left toes. Pick up your right foot. And as you inhale, point your right toes. So everything's going to stay in plank except your right leg. As you exhale, knee to right elbow or armpit, but your hips don't rise. Inhale, 3-legged plank, toes down. Left toes lift, point your toes, strong core, inhale. Everything stays in plank. Exhale, left knee to left elbow or armpit. Inhale it back, 3-legged plank. Downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward plank pose again. And then we're going to come into side plank, Vashisthasana. So spread your left fingers wide. You're going to stack your feet and flex your ankles. reach your right arm to the sky. Option to bring your left knee down just like we did before. If you're stacking your feet, make sure you're really lifting your kneecaps. And then let's do the same thing with our arm. Palm faces forward, reach forward. Push your hips up for one more breath. Back through plank pose with control. Other side. Spread your right fingers wide. Stack your feet. Option to bring your right knee down. Left arm to the sky. And squeeze your obliques, your abs, all those muscles in your core. Turn the palm forward. Reach your left arm forward. Lift your hips for one more breath. Back through plank pose. Inhale in plank. We're going to lower the knees and lower all the way down onto the belly. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Press the tops of your feet down into the ground and then lift up. Shalabhasana variation. So pull your knuckles back towards your feet, and if it's comfortable, you can lift your legs as well. But don't crank the neck. No wrinkles in the back of the neck. Keep the back of the neck long. Inner thighs nice and strong. For one more breath, lift higher. And then bring your right ear to the mat and relax and let go. So feeling the engagement and then the relaxation to follow is the yang and the yin balance. And then bring your forehead straight again. And this time we're not going to interlace the fingers, but we're going to rise up in a similar manner. So press your pubic bone down into the ground and lift everything up. Shalabhasana. So feel as if you're really hugging in the triceps. We're going to swing your arms forward, but try not to shrug your shoulders. Take an inhale there. And then as you exhale, arms into cactus. Try to lift your chest more. Inhale forward. Again, exhale, arms into cactus. Lift your chest. Inhale, arms forward. Keep squeezing your butt and your back body. This time, arms straight down by your hips. And one last inhale, lift higher. Squeeze your back body. Left ear to the mat. Relax, let go. So just warming up all the core muscles for strength, again, before we start our flow. Hands under the shoulders, child's pose for about 3 breaths. To lengthen through the back body. I wish I could give you guys a child's pose press here. When you're ready, downward facing dog. Lift your hips. And then just walk your feet all the way up to the top of your mat. And then feet wider than the hips just a little bit. Ragdoll. Grab a hold of elbows. Drop your head. Shake out your head, no, and yes. Sway your torso from side to side and get that nice decompression of the low back, the spine, through the heaviness of the head. So more weight into the balls of the feet. Let's take a lion's breath here to just get that energy flowing. So take a deep breath in through your nose. Stick out the tongue, exhale. And we'll do that 2 more times. Inhale. Lion's breath. 1 more. Inhale. And let it go. Interlace your fingers behind your back. And as you inhale, you're going to reach the knuckles back and sit into almost like a half chair, Ardha Utkatasana. So you sit back into your heels, pick up your toes, gaze forward, opening the chest muscles, but feeling the strength of the glutes, your belly. 1 more breath in. And as you exhale, just straighten the legs as much as you like. You can keep them bent, but knuckles up and overhead. And then as you inhale, you're just going to straighten your right leg and look over your right shoulder towards the sky. Pull your right hip back while you're still stamping into your right foot. And then release through center, and then you're going to switch sides. Keep the right knee bent, straighten your left leg, look over the left shoulder, but still feel rooted through the left foot. And then release through center, release the clasp. Heavy arms just dangling. You're just going to roll up one vertebrae at a time to standing. The head is heavy, head comes up last. Once the head comes up, then just roll your shoulders back and down. And then find your alignment with your feet. Either big toes to touch, heels slightly apart, or feet could be about hips distance apart. And we'll just start to flow a little bit to get more energy and circulation going. So as you inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward, nice straight spine, open chest. Inhale for a halfway lift. Take your left foot into a low lunge. Back knee down. And this first low lunge, would stay here for 3 breaths. So arms lift up, but then bring your arms into cactus, just to keep opening the chest. So stay here for 2 more breaths. Again, tuck your tailbone slightly, feel your low abs engage. Make sure your right knee is right over the right ankle. Filling the chest. Keeping the tops of the shoulders relaxed. 1 more breath. As you inhale, reach your arms up, gaze up. As you exhale, hands down, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward, plank pose. In this first one, we're gonna do knees, chest, and chin. You keep your elbows glued to your ribs like a grasshopper and your tailbone high. Chin and chest land, and then glide onto your belly, baby cobra. Roll your shoulders back and down. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog, exhale. And as you inhale, take your right leg to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose, foot between the hands. And then come up onto the fingertips, gaze forward, root down into your right foot. Step forward, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up to standing, touch palms at the top. Exhale, prayer to heart. Again, inhale, reach. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold. Halfway lift, inhale, really lengthen through the crown. Right foot back into low lunge. Back knee down, take your arms up to start. Then you can pull your elbows into a 90-degree angle into cactus pose. And feel this energetic radiating out from the heart. Stamp down into the left foot, but no gripping. More just a rooted down so that you can feel energy lifting up through the navel, through the heart, through the third eye. One more deep breath. Feel that big stretch in your right hip flexor. As you inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, hands down, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward, plank pose. We'll do the same vinyasa, knees, chest, chin. Nice strong triceps here for the lowered control. Inhale, cobra, roll the shoulders back, downward facing dog. Left leg to the sky as you inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, foot between the hands. Come up onto the fingertips. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Root down into your left foot. Step right foot to meet the left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Root down to rise. Inhale, touch palms. Exhale, prayer to heart. We'll do one more round, but we won't stop in the lunge. We'll keep going. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, inhale. The left foot steps back knee down, low lunge. Inhale, reach up. Touch palms. Exhale, hands down, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward, plank pose. This time we'll try chaturanga with straight legs, lower with control. Triceps are still strong, elbows in. Either upward dog or cobra. So an upward dog, you're just on your hands and feet. Cobra, your hips are down. Downward facing dog. Right leg to the sky, inhale. Exhale, foot between the hands. Step forward, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, straight spine all the way up to standing, sweep up. Exhale, prayer to heart. Other side, inhale. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Right foot steps back, back knee down. Just one breath in, nice and deep into your lunge. Exhale, hands down, downward dog. Inhale, roll forward, plank pose. Strong core through your vinyasa. Exhale, lower. Inhale for your heart opener. And downward facing dog. Left leg to the sky, inhale. Exhale, foot between the hands, gaze forward, root down. Inhale, halfway lift, step forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up, touch palms. Exhale, prayer to heart. Good. Utkatasana, bend your knees, reach your arms up. Interlace fingers behind your back, exhale. And then as you inhale, you'll pull your knuckles back, but keep the belly strong. Exhale, fold, straighten your legs as much as you like. And then you can release the clasp, fingers down. Halfway lift, inhale. Left foot steps back. Let's start in the low lunge again. So back knee down, reach up. And then we're gonna bring prayer to heart. And we're gonna come into a version of a twist that keeps our heart lifted and spine still in an extension. So we're gonna bring left arm forward to start. Right hand to your sacrum with your fingers pointing down. And pull that right shoulder back. And then try to keep this left wrist really strong and straight. You're gonna place the back of the left hand to the outer right knee. And then like a lever, you're just gonna inhale, lengthen up to the crown of the head. And then as you exhale, you press your back of your hand into your knee to twist. You press your right hand down into your sacrum to push your hips forward and gaze over the right shoulder. We'll be here for another 2 deep breaths. So it can really serve as a chest opener as well by pulling that right shoulder back. And of course, a really deep hip flexor opening. And then bring your fingers down to the ground, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward, plank pose. Let's move through a vinyasa. Exhale, lower, chaturanga, or knees, chest, chin, whatever you need to. Cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. As you inhale, take your right leg to the sky. Exhale, foot between the hands, root down and step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Utkatasana, bend your knees, sit down into your chair. This time in your Utkatasana, you're gonna come halfway down. So torso and arms should be parallel to the earth. So you might need to lift your hips up and pull the belly in a little bit here. Inhale here. Exhale, just sweep your arms back by your sides, palms facing down. Keep the back of the neck long. Again, inhale, sweep arms forward. This time, just right arm sweeps back. Gaze back at it with your eyes. Inhale, arm forward. Exhale, left arm sweeps back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, inhale, and then take your right foot back into your low lunge. Back knee down, take your arms up. Good, prayer to heart. So take your right arm forward. Make sure that shoulder is plugging into the socket. Left hand, fingers pointing down on your sacrum. And then the wrist is nice and stable. You're gonna bring the back of the hand to the outer left knee. And then as you inhale, you're gonna lengthen your spine and your neck. And then as you exhale, you're going to twist. So as you twist, you can use that right arm as your lever. You can also use your left hand to push your sacrum down and keep pushing your hips forward to get a bigger stretch into your right psoas. And take one more deep breath there. And hands down, downward facing dog. Rolling through a vinyasa, inhale, roll forward, plank pose. Exhale, lower. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. And rinse it out, downward facing dog. Left leg to the sky, inhale. Step it forward, root down. Nice graceful transitions, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Utkatasana one more time, reach your arms up. Exhale, sit lower. Inhale to reach up and straighten your legs. Arms into cactus, exhale. Inhale, arms reach up, touch palms. Exhale, prayer to heart. And just close your eyes for a moment in stillness. Feel rooted down through your feet. Feel light up through the crown of the head. All right, we're going to add in through the flow. Root down to lift up. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And Grant is taking care of Lennon. Sorry, halfway lift, inhale. And we'll take the left foot back into a high lunge this time. So keep the back knee up, crescent lunge. Good. So same concept here in the twist. We're going to take the left arm forward, keep that shoulder plugging into the socket. And we're going to take the right arm back for your twist. But make sure you're not twisting from your hips. The hips stay stable. The twist is happening from your core. So you're squeezing your belly and you're finding a big chest opener by reaching back to the back hand. You can gaze at the side or you can gaze back at your right hand. From here, we're going to keep the arms as they are, but gaze down at the arch of your right foot. You're going to take your left hand down to the arch of the right foot, right under the left shoulder, and then right arm to the sky. So again, try not to twist your hips in order to come into this. Sometimes the left hip will drop. So keep your belly strong to keep the hips stable. Your right hip is moving back and you're really firming through the left thigh, lifting the left thigh bone up. So the arms are going to stay as they are. You're going to bring the gaze down towards your left hand. You're going to spin onto the edge of your left foot. We're coming into Vashisthasana side plank here. So root down through your left fingers. Make sure you're spreading your fingers wide. And you can either land the right foot halfway back or stack it all the way onto your left foot for side plank. Firm through the belly and the obliques. Take your right arm forward. And then you're going to step your right toes right behind the left leg. And then push your hips up and you can flip your palm to reach the sky, up and back behind you. Wild thing. Open through the chest and the hips. And then careful on your shoulders as you spin back through plank pose.
I'm dying.
You guys are doing so good. Inhale here, Vinyasa. Exhale, lower. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And we'll do a jump forward here. So as you inhale, high up onto the toes. As you exhale, deeply bend the knees and gaze between your thumbs. You can still step, or you can try a little hop between your hands. And halfway lift, inhale. Nice. And exhale. With straight legs, inhale all the way up to standing. Reach up, touch palms. Exhale, prayer to heart. Other side. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Right foot steps back. Keep the knee up. High lunge. Make sure your left knee is still right over your left ankle. And then take your right arm forward. Keep that plugged in. Keep the belly strong so you're not twisting your hips. You're twisting from the belly when you reach your left arm back. Really firm through that back thigh. Find your breath. Find your strength in your midsection, but you're getting big hip flexor, big heart opener. Keep your arms wide. Gaze down towards the left arch. Right hand plants down. Left arm to the sky. Keep your left hip moving back to keep the hips square. We'll bring the gaze down towards the right fingers, preparing for that dynamic shift into Vashisthasana. You'll come onto the outer edge of your right foot. Maybe you step halfway back for support. Maybe you stack your feet, flexing the ankles, taking the left arm forward. And then left toes will step behind the right straight leg. And then flip your chest and your hips up, reach up and back. And carefully with control, back through plank pose. We're going to lower all the way down onto the belly here. Exhale. Come onto your elbows, forearms for Sphinx pose. So forearms are parallel, elbows are right underneath the shoulders. And slight engagement in the legs, so you're pressing your feet down, pubic bone down, pressing into your elbows to lift your chest and spread through the collarbones. And while you're doing all that, also drop your chin to your chest. And little semicircles, left and right, to massage the back of the neck, the tops of the shoulders, the stress muscles. Bring your left forearm parallel to the top of your mat. Look over the right shoulder. Grab a hold of your right foot. If you can, grab from the arch side of the foot. And then once you have the foot, try to turn yourself forward again. And keep pressing into your left forearm to keep the chest lifted. And if you're flexible enough, you can also spin the fingers forward with your elbow lifted and really get into a toe point as well. And once you're in this quad stretch, also press your pubic bone down into the ground, and that'll activate the stretch. And then release, switch sides. Right forearm parallel, look for your left foot. Grab from the arch side. Once you find it, try to turn your chest forward and lift out of your neck and shoulders. And then if you like, you can turn your fingers forward, press your toes into the side of your hip, and then also press your pubic bone down into the ground. And then release. You're gonna bring your chest down. We're coming into Dhanurasana bow pose. Bend both knees. Grab a hold of your ankles, this time from the outside of your feet. And try to keep your thigh bones parallel so that they're not splayed out. Pull them back in line. And then when you're ready, you'll kick back to lift your head and chest. You'll lift your thigh bones off of the ground. Try to spread your toes. And again, no crinkles in the back of the neck. You can gaze down and forward a little bit here. It's harder to breathe, but try. And take one more deep breath in, lift higher. Release softly, hands under your shoulders. Slowly, child's pose. Hips back onto the heels. In this child's pose, bring a prayer position behind the neck. Walk your elbows forward a little bit and then pull your hips back. It's a nice tricep stretch. And then go ahead and sit up for a moment. If it's comfortable, you can sit in seiza with just onto your heels, or if it's more comfortable, you can sit cross-legged. I'm just going to do a little shoulder stretch to prepare our arms for eagle. So bring your arms into cactus. Right arm over left, and either back of the palms can touch, or back of the hands can touch, or palms can touch. You wrap even more. Drop the shoulders. Pull in the belly, lengthen the breath, and just enjoy that stretch at the top of the shoulders. Maybe feel it between the shoulder blades. And we'll just round here for a couple breaths. Bring your elbows into your chest or belly. You can drop your head so it's heavy. And feel the breath into the back of the ribs between the shoulder blades. Arms back into cactus. Left arm over right, wrapping into eagle arms. Drop your shoulders. Slow down the breath. And you can curl into yourself here for a bigger stretch into your shoulders, your upper back, your neck. Unravel your arms, reach your arms up, touch palms. Exhale, prayer to heart. And just bring your hands down. And lift your hips. And walk your feet to the top of the mat. And just round up to standing. And we'll start a little balancing sequence here before we get into our stretchy stuff. So, root down into your left foot. Bring your right knee in towards your chest and find your drishti, your point of focus with your eyes. Roll the shoulders back and down and engage your belly. Keep the knee up, arms into cactus. We'll start with the legs. So a little bend in the left knee, wrap into eagle. So you can either touch your toes for balance or you can wrap your toes around your calf. And then bring your left arm over right, eagle arms. Drop your shoulders. Focus on the breath. Option to round into yourself. You can bring the gaze down, elbows into belly, rounding the spine. You're going to unravel into warrior 3 from here. So carefully unravel your arms, unravel your legs. You can either take your arms back or forward. But you're going to kick your right leg back. Really flex that ankle. Feel your right glutes really strong. Back of the neck long, gazing right under your face. And then gently just join your feet at the top of the mat. Inhale, reach up. Touch palms and exhale, prayer to heart. Other side. Nice job. Right foot roots down, left knee into chest. Roll the shoulders back and down, engage your belly, arms into cactus. And then that little micro bend in the right knee to wrap. Eagle legs, and make sure you're not twisting your hips. You keep your inner thighs really strong to keep the hips forward. Right arm over left, eagle wrap. Either staying upright or folding into yourself. This is a sense of surrender, but in a really strong posture. This has a lot of benefits to our circulatory system, our lymphatic system, by kind of squeezing into ourselves. And then when we let go, it's like a new gush of energy, prana. Unraveling slowly into warrior three. Leg slowly reaches back. Really kick back through that heel and firm your left glutes. This is a really good butt workout. And then you can take your arms forward if you like. Make sure you're still breathing. And then step your feet together. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, arms into cactus. Open the chest. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, inhale. We'll move through a vinyasa, so you can jump back if you like, clap your hands, land into chaturanga with bent elbows. Inhale for your up dog to open the chest, and exhale, downward facing dog. And then as you inhale, take your right leg to the sky, up and back. And we're gonna swing into pigeon pose. So bring your right shin forward, so your right knee will land kind of by your right wrist. Good. Before we come down here, I wanna get into a pretty deep hip flexor opener. So bring your left hand to your right inner thigh or knee. It's like a self-assisted stretch here. And then you're gonna start to walk your right fingers back. Maybe that's enough, just kind of gazing back. If you want, you can take your right hand all the way back to grab the outer leg of that back left leg to find your chest opener, outer hip opener, and left hip flexor opener. And then you can unravel, start to lay all the way down onto the ground. Whatever feels good with your hands, prayer position, or just reach them forward. And take a few breaths here of just surrender and observation. And slowing down the breath, bringing the awareness to sensation, maybe to your thoughts, emotions. And pigeon is always a really nice opportunity to check back in. Any intention you'd like to set for your practice. Letting go of anything negative that doesn't belong in your body, in your mind. And really just trusting that everything is unfolding as it should, even in these uncertain and disruptive times. Learning how to roll with it. One more deep breath. And then lift your chest back up. You're going to sit onto the right side and then bring your left leg all the way forward with the sole of the right foot to the inner left thigh. I'm setting up for Janu Shirshasana. And then root down into your sit bones and reach up as you inhale. And exhale, fold forward. Grab a hold of somewhere on your leg, your ankle, your foot. And then take another inhale to lift out. Roll the shoulders back. And then exhale, pull yourself forward and down. This is a nice hamstring stretch for your left leg, but it's also really targeting the right QL muscle, this big back muscle that attaches from the hip bone into your spine. So feel your right knee pulling out as the anchor so that you can reach forward and really stretch that back muscle. up to a seat. Keep your legs as they are. Bring your right hand back behind you with your fingers pointing backwards. Point your left toes. You're just gonna push your hips up and reach your left arm up and back. Take a deep breath in. And release, exhale. Cross your legs.
Please switch legs.
Roll onto hands and knees. Downward facing dog. And then take your left leg up and back behind you. Setting up for pigeon, second side. So set up your leg. So by no means does your left shin ever have to be parallel to the front of the mat, because everybody's hip and knee anatomy is really different. It's more about trying to square your hips forward. Bring your right hand to the either inner knee or inner thigh. Lift yourself up and gaze over the left shoulder and start to walk your left fingertips back. Maybe you can find your hand to the outer thigh of that back leg. Breathe into your right hip flexor, into this really deep twist that's also a chest opener. So many feels happening in the body here. And then you can go ahead and lay down. Releasing into your pigeon on your left side. And pigeon can really be like a reward after strong core and vinyasa practice. So just restoring the body's energy and feeling where it's still stuck, where you need to send the breath. One more deep breath there. And then lift yourself back up to an upright seated position. You'll sit onto your left side so that you can swing your right leg forward. Sole of the left foot to the inner right thigh. And then root down into your sit bones. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach forward and see if you can grab a hold of some body part or clothing, and then halfway lift as you inhale so you can roll the shoulders back. Keep your neck long so you're not shrugging your shoulders up to your ears. Learning how to isolate different muscle groups so that you're not holding tension to really muscle yourself into a stretch. Really using the core is always where the strength of twists and flexibility comes from. Again, pulling that left knee out as the anchor with a nice back stretch from your left hip into your low back. And then lift up. Left hand plants back behind you with your fingers pointing backwards. Point your right toes. Lift your hips. Reach up and back. Breathe into your heart space. And release. And then we'll come into Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together, knees apart. I always like to do a little sit bone walk where you rock from right sit bone to left sit bone so that you can really feel where they are. And then wrap your fingers around your toes, root down into your sit bones, inhale, lengthen. And then as you exhale, slowly hinge from the hips, especially to start. You can even use your bicep strength here to pull yourself forward. And then once you reach the maximum hinge at the hips, then you can round Bringing the head down, using the heaviness of the head to also get up maybe a little decompression of the spine here as well. But still try to make an extension of the spine at first. Again, keeping the shoulders away from the ears, so no tension in the upper shoulders and neck. And then roll back up to a seat. Feet forward, about hips distance apart. Hands back behind you, about a foot behind your sit bones with your fingers pointing towards you this time. And then root down into your feet to lift your sit bones up. Lastly, you can bring your head back for reverse table. Sit bones down. Keep your hands where they are. Lift your shins up. You can have a little bend in your elbows, but keep the shoulders back so the clavicle, the collarbones are really spread wide here. I'm just going to do a little core work / triceps work here. So inhale here. As you exhale, bend your elbows straight back and straighten your legs. Firm your belly. As you inhale, pull back up to where you were. Either straight arms or a little bend in the elbows. Exhale, bend the elbows straight back. Inhale, knees into chest, chest open. 2 more, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Lastly, keep your shins where they are. If you like, you can tip your arms forward. 2 more deep breaths in boat pose, Navasana. If you like, you can straighten your legs. Keep the chest lifted, back straight. Halfway down, last little bit before we lie on our backs. 3 breaths here. Reach through the toes, firm through the belly and the arms. Last breath. Onto your back. Squeeze your knees in towards your chest. You did it. Rock from side to side. We're almost there. We've landed on our backs at least. And then plant your feet by your sit bones and we can stretch our abs in bridge pose. Lift your hips. Interlace your fingers underneath you and rock from left to right to roll your arms underneath your back to really lift the chest up. Make sure the back of the neck feels really long too. It should feel like a really nice traction actually for the upper spine as well. One more breath, lift higher. Release the interlace, slowly roll down 1 vertebrae at a time. And from here, you're just gonna cross your right thigh over the left. Shift your hips a little bit to your right. Just drop your knees over to your left. You can pin the legs down with your left hand. Reach your right arm out towards the right and gaze towards the right hand. Deep spinal twist. And then back through center. Left thigh crosses over right. Shift hips over to the left a little bit. Drop your legs to your right. Look over your left shoulder to your left outreached arm. The intention is for the left shoulder blade to start to melt down towards the ground. Releasing from your twist, bring your knees in towards your chest. Finally come into happy baby. So grab the outer edges of your feet, bring them wide into your armpits, and just a little rock from side to side. Just releasing effort. And then release. Let's end in Supta Baddha Konasana before Shavasana. So bring the soles of your feet together, knees apart. Bring your left hand to your belly, your right hand to your heart. Close your eyes. And let's take 3 cleansing breaths together. Take a deep inhale through the nose. And open the mouth, let it go. Again, deep inhale through the nose, fill up. Out through the mouth. Last breath in, inhale. Release through the mouth. Shavasana, release your legs long, your arms down by your sides. Tuck your shoulder blades underneath you so that your chest feels open. And keep your eyes closed. And just do a short Shavasana here to allow the body to relax and let go of all effort so that you can connect to your bliss body and really allow the magic of prana, of chi, of energy to heal, to strengthen, and to bring awareness into all the cells that need to be rejuvenated to boost our immune systems. And also to exercise the muscle of witness consciousness, of observing our thoughts so that we don't attach to them. Just watching them like clouds in the sky. They're passing by or dissipating, changing forms. Make your next inhale a little bit deeper. Start to feel little wiggles in your fingers and your toes, maybe circling wrists and ankles, maybe swaying the head from side to side. Make sure neck muscles feel relaxed. And then take your arms up and overhead for a big body stretch. You can point your toes. And then hug your knees in towards your chest. Roll onto your right side. You can use your right arm as a pillow, fetal position. And then,
I'm lost. Were we supposed to be still laying back, or?
Yeah, you can come up to a seat now. So go ahead and come up to a seat. Bring paraposition to your heart. Close your eyes. Just recentering and thanking your bodies for getting through this practice. While we're quarantined, it's a pretty good way, I think, to spend your time, find health and happiness and strength. I'll just end with an Om. You can Om with me if you like. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste. Good job, guys. How do you feel?